Good morning. Today we are going to continue learning about the Maya civilization, and for today we have Maya religion. Our main objectives are examine the importance of religion in Maya society. Okay, this is the main objective. And what you're going to do today is analyze the most important gods and the purpose of the pyramids, okay, the Maya pyramids. First, to start the class, we're gonna watch a video about the creation. Is something that is very important in the religion of the Maya, and what the Popol Vuh, how the world was created.
Before the world had a true form, there were two gods, Tepeyu the Maker and Gukumats the Feathered Spirit. While the world around them was dark, these two glittered with brilliant blue and green feathers. They came together to create the world. Whatever they thought came into being. When they thought earth, land formed in the darkness. They thought mountains and valleys, pine trees and water and sky. All of these things appeared the instant they thought them, and thus the earth was formed. Tepeyu and Gukumats decided they needed beings there to look after their vast creation and to praise their names as the creators. So they created deer and birds and panthers and serpents, all the creatures that roam the earth today. Now, praise us, say our names, commanded the creators. But the animals could only roar or howl, bleat, bark, twitter, or moan. They tried as hard as they could to speak, but could not. They chirped and mewed at the top of their lungs until the noise was so deafening that Tepeyu and Gukumats ordered them to stop. Disappointed, the makers agreed that they would have to create better beings, ones who would be able to worship them properly. The first race of men was made from wet clay. The creators gave them life, and the first men tried to speak, but they crumbled apart soon after they were made. The Maker and the Feathered Spirit were determined to create a hardier race of men. The second race of men were carved from wood. These were much stronger and were able to walk and talk and multiply. But these men had no minds, and their hearts were empty. They had no memories of their creation, and when they spoke, their words were just as empty and meaningless. They could not praise their gods. Tepeyu and Gukumat sent a great flood down to destroy them. They commanded the animals to attack the survivors and tear them to pieces. The few who managed to escape fled to the woods and became monkeys. The creators left them there as an example to the next race of men. The Maker and the Feathered Spirit thought for a long time about how they should make the race of men they wanted. There seemed to be no perfect material to build them. Finally, some of the animals brought the gods a stack of white corn, which grew on the far side of the earth. Tepeyu and Gukumats ground this into a paste, and from this formed 4 individual men. The new beings seemed perfect. They were sturdy enough to last, and their minds were rich with thoughts and feelings. Their first act after their own creation was to immediately worship Tepeyu and Gukumats and thank them for their lives. Tepeyu and Gukumats were pleased. "What do you see?" they asked the corn men. "We can see forever, through rocks and trees and mountains and to the edges of the earth. We can see your entire creation, with all of its animals and plants. We can see and understand everything." Tepeyu and Gukumats looked at each other. "Perhaps we made these beings too well. They should not see as well as we do." The makers removed some of the men's vision. After that, they could only see things close to them, and were no longer able to see through or above things that they should not. Thus their great understanding of the world was weakened. But the men still sang the Creator's praises and settled down to live on the new land. Tepeyu and Gukumats made 4 women to be their mates. These 8 men and women were the ancestors of all Quiche men and women today. Even today, their sight and understanding of the world is not perfect.
Well, after watching the video, we can answer some inference about the creation and the importance of Maya religion at that time. Also, why we consider that this was important. Okay, so Maya, for Maya were important the gods. Okay, and we have three main gods in here. Okay, we have Itzamna was the creator god, god of fire. Okay, he was represent the death and the rebirth of nature. Okay, we have another god. This was mentioned in the video, and it's Tepeyu. Okay, Tepeyu was the god of creation. He was a divine one. Okay, he was in charge of the creation of everything. Okay, then we have Gukumats. This god Gukumats, okay, I forgot to show you Gukumats also was called Kukulkan. Okay, in the part of the peninsula of Yucatan, of the Maya that lives in that area, for them this god was Kukulkan. For the one who live down in Guatemala, Honduras, and Belize, that today is Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras, they call this god Gukumats. So Gukumats is a snake god whose name means the serpent, okay, feathered serpent. In the video you saw that the feathered serpent, Gukumats, that was part of the creation. Okay, why he, for the Mayas, this god was the god of good. Okay, so everything that deals with good things deal with this god, with Gukumats. So these three gods are the ones that were the most important. Okay, there were other gods, but these ones are the most important for the Maya. Now we are going to continue after after I was saying about the gods, the purpose of the pyramids. Okay, the pyramids, okay, they build them to adore their gods, also to perform sacrifices. So they were a stairway to heaven. That's what they did with the pyramids. Okay, they built them so they perform on top. On the top of the pyramid was a construction that was made for the priest. The king, the priest were the ones who were there, and with other type of sorcerer, they perform sacrifices, okay, and some rites to their gods. Also, these were used as observatories to watch the stars, okay, because these, remember, the priest also help in these activities in agriculture, because the way they see the stars help them to know the seasons. Okay, so this is one of the purpose of the pyramids. Okay, so he believed that the stars and planets help them in agriculture. Okay, so the priests used them as observatories. Also, they use it as to perform sacrifices. Okay, let's listen an audio about the pyramids.
Pyramids. The Maya built large pyramids as monuments to their gods. At the top of the pyramid was a flat area where a temple was built. The priests would get to the top of the pyramids using staircases built into the sides. They would perform rituals and sacrifices at the temple on the top. How do we...
After listening the audio, okay, about the pyramids, now you have a clear idea about the usage that the Maya civilization had for pyramids. Okay, also here I have a question. How do we know about the Maya religion? Okay, a simple answer. The main way we and archaeologists know about Mayan religion is that there were some Maya texts. Okay, they were called codices. Okay, there is one that is called the Dresden Codice, because this was a study in the city of Dresden in Germany. There is another that is called the Popol Vuh, in which the story you saw in the video was based. And there is the Madrid Codex. One important aspect is about this is that most of the things about the religion of the Maya was studied by some scholarships and by archaeologists who went to these sites, these important sites, and what they found is that that the religion was very important for the Maya. So they believe in their gods, and everything was surrounded about religion. If something happened, it's because of the gods. Okay, so what you can see is that also the nature and religion was linked together. Okay, finally, to conclude about the class, what you have to do is that, okay, in doctors, you have to answer a questionnaire and read the article and answer the questionnaire. Okay, and in forms, what you're going to do is to make a descriptive paragraph. Remember that a descriptive paragraph has a main idea, supporting details, and a conclusion. It's not just a writing. So follow this guideline. Okay, so remember, follow the steps so you will make a good descriptive paragraph. Thank you, and see you around next class.